Kings chapter 5. Solomon's riches and internal affairs. Solomon ruled over all the kingdoms from the river to the land of the Philistines, down to the border of Egypt. They paid Solomon tribute and served him as long as he lived. Solomon's provision for each day were 30 cores of fine flour, 60 cores of meal, 10 fatted oxen, 20 pasture-fed oxen, and 100 sheep, not counting harts, gazelles, roebucks, and fatted fowls. He had dominion over all the land of the west of the river, from Tifsah to Gaza, and all the kings, and he had peace on his borders round about. Thus Judah and Israel lived in security, everyone under their own vine and fig tree, from Dan to Beersheba, as long as Solomon lived. Solomon's riches, chariots, and horses. Solomon had 40,000 stalls for horses and chariots, and 12,000 horsemen. The governors, one for each month, provided food for King Solomon and for all the guests at King Solomon's table. They left nothing unprovided. For each chariot, horses, and draft animals also, each brought his quota of barley and straw to this required place. Solomon's renown. Moreover, God gave Solomon wisdom, exceptional understanding, and knowledge, as vast as the sand of the seashore. Solomon's wisdom surpassed that all of the peoples of East and all the wisdom of Egypt. He was wiser than anyone else, wiser than Ethan the Ezrahite, Heman, Chalcol, and Darda the musicians. And his fame spread throughout the neighboring peoples. Solomon also uttered 3,000 proverbs, and his songs numbered 1,005. He spoke of plants, from the cedar Lebanon to the hyssop growing of the wall. He spoke of beasts, birds, and reptiles, fishes. People from all nations came to hear Solomon's wisdom, sent by all the kings of the earth who had heard his wisdom. Preparations for the temple. When Hiram, king of Tyre, heard that Solomon had been anointed king into the place of his father, he sent an embassy to him, for Hiram had always been David's friend. Solomon sent back the message to Hiram, "You know that David, my father, because of the wars he beset him, could not build a house in the name of the Lord for his God until such a time as the Lord should put enemies under the soles of his feet. But now the Lord my God has given me rest on all sides without adversary or misfortune, so I intend to build a house for the name of the Lord my God." And the Lord said to David my father, "Your son, whom I will put on your throne in your place, shall build a house for my name. Give orders then to have cedars from the Lebanon cut down for me. My servants shall accompany yours and will pay you whatever you say for your servants' wages. For you know that there is no one among us who is skilled in cutting timber like Sidonians." Then Hiram had heard the words of Solomon. He was overjoyed and said, "Blessed be the Lord this day, who has given David a wise son over the numerous peoples." Hiram sent out word to Solomon, "I have heard the proposal you sent me, and I will provide the cedars and fir trees you desire. My servants shall bring them down from Lebanon to the sea, and will arrange them to rafts in the sea, and bring them wherever you say. There I will break up the rafts, and you shall take the lumber. You, and for your part, you shall furnish provisions I desire for my household." Hiram continued to provide Solomon with all the cedars and fir trees he desired, while Solomon gave Hiram 20,000 cores of wheat to provide for the household and 20 cores of hand-pressed oil. Solomon gave Hiram all this every year, and the Lord gave Solomon wisdom as he promised him. So there was a peace between Hiram and Solomon, and the two of them made a covenant. King Solomon raised 30,000 forced laborers from Israel. He sent them to Lebanon for a month in relays of 10,000. So they spent 1 month in Lebanon and 2 months at home. Adoniram was in charge of the forced labor. Solomon had 70,000 carriers and 80,000 stonecutters in the mountain. In addition to 3,300 overseers answered to Solomon, who were in charge of the work. By orders of the king, fine large blocks of stone were quarried to give the house a foundation of hewn stone. Solomon's and Hiram's builders, along with the others from Gebel, shaped them and prepared the wood and stones for building their house.